Good day, everyone. This is Brandon Green, aka Gold Element Autoworks, giving an update on the 2005 E320 Wagon. This car really presented a major learning curve. I was able to learn a lot from this experience. If you remember, I think I had posted about the rear airmatic shocks being low, tilted more on the driver's side. I got a couple different suggestions to check out the level sensor in the back. Obviously, to consider that the airmatic struts were blown. I learned a lot because I had to do a lot of research, read a lot of forums, ask a lot of questions, figure things out on my own. And I've come to realize that the W211 chassis Mercedes, which is the E320, the E500, E55, these in the rear have not only struts, like regular struts, they have a airbag. And then the front on the wagon has just regular coilover struts. So in the rear, there are struts without a spring, and there are airbags in the rear. So I'm doing this for a customer, a friend, a client, whatever you want to call them, a buddy of mine. Like I said, his was low on the driver's side rear. So I ordered new airbags and also new struts for the back. I thought it was the driver's side strut that was bad because it was low on the driver's side, but it wound up being the problem. Yes, okay, they were old, they were original. Of course, they were from 2005, so they need to be replaced. And this has high miles on it. So I replaced the driver's side strut and airbag, but it still was low and I couldn't figure it out. So I did the passenger side, and lo and behold, everything evened out. So I believe that the passenger side was stuck. It was expanded. It was like locked in place. And so it was causing the driver's side to be extremely low. You would have thought just the opposite. But once I did the passenger side, everything leveled out. I was still getting a fault though. The airmatic fault, saying to, I don't know, service or something like that. And I read the forums. I used my scanner that's specific to the Mercedes, which gives you a lot of detailed information as to any error messages. It checks the whole system out. And so it wound up being an open circuit in the valve. I don't want to say valve block, that's ABC. What did I say? Valve something. There was like an open circuit. And so through my diligent research, I found out that it's a typical problem with these cars, that there is a plug that typically breaks one of the wires going into the plug. Driver's side front, right in front of the driver's side front wheel. There's a plug that goes into the pump. And when that wire breaks, it like corrodes. It's also in contact with the liner, and I think just over time, that it's like slight pressure on that wire. It just winds up coming undone. A lot of corrosion. So I disassembled it, cut into it, soldered it, rewired it, and plugged it back up, and that light went out. So everything is perfect now. But let me tell you though, going into, changing out those airbags and those struts, it was a lot of work. I got a lot of different conflicting information as to how much stuff you have to take apart. You got to drop this, you got to drop that, you got to remove this, remove that. Keep in mind that this is the wagon, so you don't have the extra airline going to the airbag like some of them do. And also with the features that this one has, it doesn't have like adaptive suspension or something like that, so there's not another like line or a circuit or a cylinder connected to the strut. So this is a more simplified airmatic system, and like I said, it's only in the rear. So I learned from the driver's side. I took apart more stuff than I should have taken apart, and it became very frustrating. It took a couple days to finish the job. I was just like irritated, pissed off. My time was like really short. I really didn't have a lot of time to work on like I wanted to. It started raining. I mean, and I'm working on the outside. I was like, no more, I'll never do this job again. But I learned from the driver's side, and I did the passenger side within probably 4 hours, I guess, about 3 hours. I had some difficulty with some of the bolts. And also the way that the strut is secured at the top, there's a lot of disassembly in the wagon. The side panels have to be removed, and it's hard to get a grip on that top plate that's supposed to be stationary. You're supposed to turn the piston in the strut. It has a hex head to it, so you got to turn that, and you got to hold the plate so that doesn't turn, and that's so hard to do. Now the driver's side was easy. I was able to do that with some pliers, like some big old pliers. I can't remember what they're called. What are those called? Yeah, whatever. I was able to hold those steady and turn that piston. But the passenger side, I was not. I mean, it took a lot of work, a lot of sweat and tears and cursing. I don't curse, but I had some bad thoughts, and I was slamming a lot of stuff around. But I got it off, man. Oh yeah, there was a little trick to the passenger side. Let me not talk so smooth and confident regarding how I got the passenger side off. What I wound up having to do is I got it to turn so much most of the way, and then it just stopped. It kind of just froze into place. And so in order to get that top plate separated from that piston of the passenger rear strut, I had to actually bring out a power tool, with a cutting disc or whatever. What's that thing called? A grinder tool with a cutting disc. I had to actually cut the piston on the strut. I had just probably like half an inch worth of space to get in there. I had to finish cutting the strut. And then with the strut, the top of the piston cut, the piston to the strut, the top. By me cutting that, then the plate itself came off, and then the rest of the threaded hex head of that piston that remained inside of the plate, I was able to more effectively get a hold of it and turn it and break it loose. I mean, it was crazy, but you'll read a whole lot of information as to how to do it. You almost will find out how to do it once you get in it. Now, there is a Mercedes specific tool designed to get a grip on that top plate, because you're limited in your space. Plus, I didn't remove the panel all the way, so I was kind of very limited in how I did it. But like I said, I learned from the driver's side. Passenger side didn't go as smooth when it came to that, but you know, there's a trick to do everything. You just have to be adaptive and learn as you go. Okay, so that's good. Now it's balanced out. Thank you everyone for the recommendations. I more or less got a lot of recommendations on Instagram, but I'm putting this video on YouTube. Okay, so again, this is a 2005 W211 E320 Airmatic. Good to go. Okay, a lot of lessons learned here. By the way, I am about to pick up another E-Class. It's a 2003 E500, and guess what? Has an Airmatic problem. It's all the way down, like all four wheels. The body is dropped on all four wheels, and also the battery went dead, so it no longer communicates with the key fob. So I have to get that reprogrammed or order another key. So I had that little dilemma that I'll work out, I'll figure out. Okay, but this right here gave me the experience and now the knowledge to move on and to work on the E500 that I will be picking up in the next few days. Okay, so anyone who owns a Mercedes, I recommend you working on it yourself. I definitely recommend you learning. If I took this to the dealership, it would have been a $3,000-4,000 job because of all the extra work that I had to do. I mean, I did more than just the suspension. I also did like a brake job all the way around, oil change, a couple other things I did for the customer. But you know, he took care of me and I'm taking care of him. Okay, so if you're a Mercedes owner, I recommend that you learn how to work on your own Mercedes. Don't get caught up in going to Mercedes dealership and the coffee and the snacks and the water that they give you, the pop and all that crap. I mean, they're taking so much money from you. I recommend that you learn how to work on this car yourself. Do your research, do your diligent research, and put some diligent effort into learning how to work on them yourself. And you will save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And you can focus more on driving the Mercedes and enjoying the experience rather than shelling out a bunch of cash and going broke just to say that you have a Mercedes. Okay, work on it yourself. Learn how to work on your own car. If you don't know how to work on it, at least learn the process through reading and studying, so that if you have to pay someone else how to do it, you know, pay someone else to fix it, you know exactly what they have to do, and they can't pull the wool over your eyes and take advantage of your ignorance. Okay, so educate yourself regarding these cars, and enjoy the ownership of a Mercedes-Benz. Take care.